Satisfaction rates go up when you start to be assertive in the bedroom. Your O's are going to go up when you start taking what you want in the bed. Remember, ladies, if you don't ask, you don't get. You won't get it. Welcome back. It's your host, Hallismmith, for another episode of Girl Core. We need to take back the steering wheel from men in the bedroom. Why are we always letting them lead, do the directions when they don't even know where they're freaking going? And you guys are like, what? But like, we just want to stop being passive aggressive in the bedroom, because every woman is like, oh, I'm struggling to finish. It's not good in the bedroom. Why can't I finish? And it's probably because you're acting too nice. You're not being a bully. You need to bully men in the bedroom to get what you want, because men, they've been leading, okay? They think that most women want this, okay? They assume like, okay, she wants me to take the lead. She wants me to do all these things. So they lead, but they don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're freaking doing, okay? And many men are happy when women take over. They're happy to just be told what to do, because they're like, yes, I do want to please you. I just don't know what the frick you want from me. So when you tell them what you want, when you take control, when you stop being passive aggressive in the bedroom and start actually taking charge in the bedroom, is when you start getting your O's. The best thing for him too is like when men don't have to lead, it takes away their performance anxiety, because although, yes, we think men don't really get in their heads in the bedroom, but they do. And they're more just worried about like, are they being aggressive enough? Are they taking charge? Like, am I being hot and like doing what she wants and leading? And so because they're constantly leading in the bedroom and probably in the relationship when it comes to initiating and all these other things in the bedroom, their whole entire weight is on their shoulders. And you are going to relieve that performance anxiety so that they're not worried about what pose you want to do or how to do it. When you take control in the bedroom, you are guaranteeing better satisfaction for yourself, okay? Knowing how to assert yourself in the bedroom is honestly a tool, and it's something you can learn. It's something I'm going to teach you, because you need these tools in your tool belt to get what a girl wants, okay? Because let me tell you this. Satisfaction rates go up when you start to be assertive in the bedroom. Your O's are going to go up when you start taking what you want in the bed. Remember, ladies, if you don't ask, you don't get. You won't get it. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to be a freaking psychic and be able to read your mind. So what are the tools that you can add into your tool belt? Well, honestly, just telling them what to do. You're going to say to them, some of the ideas that you can say is just like, don't stop till I tell you to. Do not, okay, finish until I let you know. Like if they're going down on your kitty cat, I feel like lots of us women, we're getting in our head because we're like, oh man, G, like it's been like forever. Like they've been going down there since the dawn of time and it's been 2 minutes. Okay. So, and like I am the biggest, problem. Like I do that all the time. Even myself, who's constantly talking about the bedroom and intimacy and getting better at it, I rush myself all the time. So something's kind of hot about being like, you know what? You don't stop till I say stop. Like sometimes you kind of just like wait until they finish or until you fake finish. Instead, how about you just tell them, hey, don't stop till I tell you to, because it kind of takes out the pressure. Then you're not worried about like, oh, have I been taking too long? This is now like a command assertiveness thing. It's kind of kinky. They're kind of into it. And they're like, oh, okay. He gets kind of turned on because once again, men want to be told what to do in the bedroom. They just don't know what you want. So if you say you're going to eat me out until I tell you to stop, they know what they're doing. They know you've given them clear incentive. Don't stop. Men are very straightforward and simple. You give them clear directions and they will follow. They don't want to be lost little puppies, running around in the bedroom, not knowing what to do and how to make a girl finish. They just haven't been told how. Any power play in the bedroom is an aphrodisiac, especially for men who usually are in charge. So tell them what you want. Okay, you're going to be like, more left, more right. And if they don't listen, they get a little slap on the chest, a little slap on the face, a little slap on the thigh. But little love taps let your partner know, hey, you're doing it wrong. And I know you're like, bitch, what? Are we using a love tap? But like a little love tap. Say they're going down the kitty and they're not doing it right. A little tap on the head, more to the left. Physical contact is hot. It's just like girls, we love to get a little spanking. You know what I mean? Like, come on, don't lie. A little spank, it feels really hot, feels good. And it's kind of like that sting sensation then feels good. Like, yeah, if you spank me outside the bedroom, I'm gonna be like, what the? I'm gonna be like annoyed because I'm gonna be like, ow, that just hurts. But when you're in the bedroom, that little sting turns into a ooh, into a ah. So that ooh ah syndrome is what you're gonna trigger in them. When a guy isn't doing it right, give him a love tap, slap him on the head, give directions. Men want directions in the bedroom, and the hottest aphrodisiac is assertiveness. Okay, knowing what you want is hot, especially taking what you want in the bedroom. Okay, there's always like this trope like, oh, a girl has to be like shy in the bedroom and not know what she's doing. Okay, once you're in the bedroom, you're done with that. I'm gonna finish you, drain you, and take what I need, and we are both gonna enjoy this because most men are super freaking surprised. Nothing is hotter than a girl that can play that role of being assertive 1 second and then back to, oh yeah, what do you want to do? Like in the next. It is a balance, ladies. You know what I'm talking about. So play the balance in the bedroom, especially, and don't be afraid of it, because let me tell you this, he is not, when he pushes your head down for more because you're not taking enough, he pushes your head down. He has no problem telling you to flip over, grab you, flip and dip you like a little chicken nugget. Okay. So do the same to him. be assertive. Like most of the time, ladies, being nice is ruining your libido, okay? When you're in the bedroom, they're like, oh, what do you want me to do? And you're like, I don't know. You know. And if you don't know, think about it. Learn what you want in the bedroom. If a guy asks you, what pose do you want to do? And you're like, oh, I don't know, every single time. Yes, the first time, that's okay. But I want you to think outside the bedroom. What poses would I enjoy? Look up some on the internet. Watch some of my TikToks because I do be telling you, lots of like fun bedroom poses, but watch one of those videos. See what's out there and have an idea so that you can just, tell somebody. The worst type of person in anything really is like if you're going out to eat with somebody, if you're going to hang out with a friend and you're like, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't know. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Well, shit, do you want? So, in the bedroom, it's just like that. Tell a person what they want. Do you want me to flip you over and bake you like a pancake? Or do you just want it like nice and easy tonight? Having that answer in your back pocket is just the little step further to being hot and assertive in the bedroom. It's what you need, okay? You need to stop being a passenger to your orgasm. Take control of that shit. Drive the freaking bus, okay? Take control of it, because if you're just like letting it drive you, they will drive you. Men are used to taking the reins in the bedroom. They don't always want to, but they kind of have to. And you are then just being a little passenger. You're not going to get where you want to go. And then you're going to be disappointed. And then you're mad at them, but you're the one who didn't speak up and take what you wanted. As much as I have amazing Pound Town, I too have bad days. So your girl got a little sick this week. If you can hear it in my voice, I do have a little bit of a nasaliness, giving that LA vocal fry, but your girl has a little bit of a cold. I've been recovering, but nonetheless, I was kind of horny. See, the thing is, I was sick, then my man was sick, then we were both sick. Like, he got sick first, right? So I hadn't had any Pound Town in a hot minute, and he went down first. I was still kind of healthy, so I was like, oh, yay, I'm still doing good. So I was happy. But then I got sick, and then we're both sick. And now it's been like days since we even cracked. So I was like, shit, a girl is feeling feral. I'm ovulating. Give me some. But the problem was, it was kind of late. I read the time wrong. Apparently, your girl can't read military time. Okay, the 24-hour clock. Because Manzi's phone was on that clock, right? And I thought it said, it was like 4 o'clock. So I was like, oh, perfect timing. Like, we can do this, wrap it up, and then go grab some dinner. But it was not. Okay. It was actually I think 5 o'clock, 5:30, and I didn't pay attention. So you're like, what does the time have to do with it? Well, I was hungry. And so was my Manzi's, because it was kind of like before dinner-ish. It was later in the day. And I was like, oh, it's okay. Like, it's still kind of early, so we can do this and then go eat. We're doing it, and it started off good. That wasn't the problem. At first, I was like, okay, it started off good. The rhythm was there. We were in sync. I was getting what I wanted. I was nice and loose. It was just slipping in real, when it gets like juicy, you're like, oh my God, just a little water park down there. And then in the second pose, I realized that, oh, my tummy's grumbling. Like, I'm a missionary. I can hear my stomach, and I know he can too. And I was like, okay, I'm kind of hungry. And I started getting sidetracked. And then he went to go put it back in. But then I just got started to dry up. I think because I started to think too much and I wasn't in the moment. Next thing you know, it's starting to get tight. I'm starting to get tight. We're going still, but it's just getting tighter and tighter. And I'm like, oh, this is uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, switch it up. So we switch it up. And then I'm like, oh, okay, it's still not working. We are out of sync now. Nothing's flowing. I'm still trying to rally. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. This is going to be good. I'm like, let me grab a toy. So I reach into my nightstand. I actually grabbed this one. This is the little bullet one. But I grabbed this little one and I start holding that at the same time because this one's so nice and tiny. You need a little tiny one. I know we always got these big things and all these, ones like this, but a nice little tiny vibe is always nice because it's easier to hold when you're doing stuff with your partner if you're using one of these at the same time. Anywho, your girl's holding this, right on my kitty cat. He's giving it to me good, and that missionary. It felt really good. And finally, I was just like, okay, do you want to finish? It barely been honestly, this sounds like it was taking forever, but this was less than not even 10 minutes. And I was like, I can finish if you want to. And he was like, yeah. So I just hold the vibe there. Boom, boom, boom. Finish it off. He finishes. We're all happy. But then immediately wrap it up. No aftercare. I am too hangry. I got to go wash off, He's frosted inside of my kitty cat. It was randomly really hot. It just started to get really hot in the room. And I was like, oh, I need a shower. Sweaty and sticky and hangry. And I finished, but it wasn't a relief. Sometimes you finish and it's oh, girl, I needed that. That just made my day. And now I'm in a better mood. I just was being a bitch because I need to orgasm. Yeah, no, that was not that. I was like, I could have done without this. Oh, I feel like I worked for it, but it wasn't satisfying. And now I'm more like my energy level was drained. When you finish, it makes a girl tired. Guys, girls, anybody, you get that post-nut drain. Okay, we have the post-nut clarity, but we got the post-nut drain where your energy is just, you've plummeted. So I'm hangry. My blood sugars, I'm freaking tired from just cracking. And now I'm just it was an okay crack. And I was just shit, freaking body literacy, guys. Body literacy, of all people to know it. Body literacy is is knowing how to check in with your body and be like, hey, do I want to go to Pound Town because I want to do this? Or am I kind of just checking this off like a chore on my laundry list? Okay. And I kind of felt like that. I'd been sick. I hadn't gone to Pound Town in a minute. And I was like, I should want this. I should do this because, like I want it, like, yeah, kind of mentally, lightly. But I didn't really check in with my physical body. I was just checking in with my little pervy mental brain and not checking in with my physical, because my physical was like, girl, we're tired, we're hangry, and we're kind of starting to get sick. We're not in the best mood. But I did it anyways. And then I was like, not as satisfied. I mean, both my partner, the great part is we have healthy, strong communication. And that's what you need, because even if you go to Pound Town with your partner, it's not always going to be perfect, but you guys got to talk about it. You got to clear the air a little bit. We were both like, what was that? Like, what happened? It was so good in the beginning. Then we lost the rhythm. Then it started to get dry and tight. Like, what was happening? And we're both just like, yeah, that was more draining than it was like, fulfilling. Like, sometimes that orgasm just makes you feel like, oh, needed that. That felt like, oop, I could have put that on the back burner. I didn't exactly need that. Now I am actually exhausted. I think I was supposed to make dinner that night, and I was just like, ooh, I'm not doing that. Let's go eat. Let's go eat out. But no, nonetheless, it was a good lesson even to myself to remember body literacy, checking in with yourself. Make sure, you little freaky freaks, that your mental and your physical are wanting to do it, because sometimes a girl is just too tired. But it does make me appreciate it because, I was a little sick. I was not in my prime. And you're like, ew, who's cracking when they're sick? Okay, if you've ever been in a long-term relationship or like any type of situationship, sometimes you're so horny, you don't care about a sickness if you guys are both sick. You're like, whatever, we're both sick. Who cares about our germs? And you're just like gross little crusty people. Trust me. But I was not looking my finest, or so I thought. I was kind of like giving Shrek, okay? Your girl had been not showering that day. I was just wearing like my messy, pajamas, like a big t-shirt and some shorts. I was not at my prime. I was kind of sick. So I was just like, not, no makeup. Yet man thought I was literally a Victoria's Secrets model fresh off the runway. Like, he was coming at me with more intensity than he does when I am in my full makeup, giving, red carpet, Golden Globes vibes. And I just realized, I was like, shit, like the Shrek test. If a man wants you when you are looking ugly around the house, when you just woke up, when you're at like your real authentic self, okay, because that's just you, without the makeup, without your outfit, I love it. Yes, it enhances everything. Like, who doesn't? But you, when it's just you at your most, core self, just yourself, that is when a guy really appreciates you. And that's how you know that he is actually for you. He is not just for you because of your looks or your body or that sense. He is actually like attracted to your energy. He is attracted to your soul, that aura and riz you give off is what he's in love with. And I know that sounds like so cringy. You're like, ew, girl, what? But like, it's true. Think about a guy, a situationship, a hookup, your boyfriend, whatever. When is he initiating? Is it always initiating when you look your best, when you've got all your makeup and your hair and you just did your everything shower? Or is he like when you're kind of tired, you just got home from work, maybe you're looking a little bit, you think you look a little bit run down, or you just woke up, or maybe you've just had a long day and kind of been staying inside? That's when they make the move. That is a green flag. If your guy only makes a move when you're done up and when you look your freaking best, but it's kind of like, ew, no, like you're gross, like you haven't showered today. Like, okay, obviously there's a point to that. But for the most part, they should want to make a move even when you're not your best self. And that's when you know you've really found somebody good. I think real intimacy is being at your raw state and somebody desiring you, not when you're all done up and cute. As the girls always joking on TikTok and stuff, like, OMG, he only wants me like when I'm in my ugly big t-shirt or like my moo-moo. And then when I'm all done up, he's like, yeah, you're cute. But then when I'm just like, hair in a bun and I'm wearing like my third day pajamas, they're like, yes, give me some of that. All right, my hot babes, it's that time of the episode. We are doing Q&A time. First question of the day. I love my boyfriend a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm super attracted to him, but my birth control makes my libido so awful. I never want to go to Pound Town until we get into it. And then I'm more kind of into it. But the problem is I'm actually starting to become never horny. Okay. I know what you mean, because here's the thing. Women, we are slow cookers. We are not frying pans. Guys, you can just, heat them up quickly, throw the egg in, bing, bada, boom. No, bam. We take all day. We are a slow cooker. You have to cook and brew, and it takes time for us to get horny sometimes and in the mood. And that is why, like, yeah, if you did start going to Pound Town, you could get into the mood because you slowly got into it. You warmed up, you got into it. Whereas guys, they can just look at you and be like horny. They're guys, when they're turned on, theirs is more like a constant kind of buzz. Like, it's always going, okay? They can always get it. They can look at you and get you there. They can get you before bed. Whereas the women, we're a little more up and down. It kind of depends on the day, the vibe, and how we've been warming things up. So don't feel bad if it does take time. But birth control, ugh, it can really mess with your libido and your drive. And honestly, outside factors such as stress, school, work, you might not even realize subconsciously how much you're carrying. If you are trying to get yourself in the mood and you're like, girl, I'm just not horny, try to really, how do I say, rizz up yourself, take yourself where you're going to do your everything shower, you're going to take a bubble bath, listen to some kind of like sensual music, get yourself kind of in that mindset, then start talking with your partner. You're kind of giggling, being a little flirtatious with no intention really of completing anything, no intention of like going to pound town, no intention of doing any of that. You're literally just like flirting with them to flirt with your partner, kind of tease them a little bit, and it kind of releases the pressure that you have to complete something. Because I feel like lots of girls, sometimes we feel like, okay, if I start teasing him or flirting with him, then he's just going to want to crack. Then he's going to make a move, and I'm not sure if I'm there yet. Let it build, okay? Let it simmer. Take your time. Just like I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast, how you want to be assertive in the bedroom. This goes into that. Foreplay it's a man's game sometimes. We give it to them to let them like, okay, we're start kissing, then they're groping, and now we're, okay, getting roughly fingered. Instead, let it be a slow burn. Be like, hey, let's make a cup of tea and kind of cuddle on the couch for a little bit, and let's just talk. Let's just see where it goes. Maybe dim the lights. Light a candle. Maybe if you're like freaking go get a snack in your car, you guys can like just yip yap and park somewhere with a cute view, get some fast food and eat it in the car and kind of just like joke and tease and flirt a little bit. And usually you will notice, ladies, that you start to get in the mood because when you start joking and flirting, like you don't realize, but laughter is an aphrodisiac. Laughing with somebody makes you kind of horny because women, we're so mentally tuned in, whereas men can just be so quick fizzle. Okay. They can just like, oh, look at her, I'm horny. Whereas women were like, yeah, I see him, he's hot and everything, but I'm just not feeling anything. Like the kitty cat is not purring. Sometimes you just kind of have to push yourself into it in a different way and figure out what that means for you. Because honestly, I think most of the time, women never just look at a guy and are like horny. Like it takes a very certain something. Like, I don't know, if you love your man in a certain boxer and t-shirt combo, yeah, maybe that will turn you on. Sometimes you have to ease yourself into it and kind of find what works for you. Maybe you guys do a little couples massage, like to each other in the bedroom with no intention of doing anything else. Just start the massage and see how you feel and go from there and kind of tell your partner, like, I don't know if I'm in the mood tonight. How about we just do this, this, and this, see how I feel. I don't want any pressure that this is going to happen. And that is actually more fun. And do entertain adding more toys into the bedroom, maybe not always doing P and the V, doing little quickies, kind of mixing up how you do and what you do really does become more helpful. Next question. Babe, you're a lifesaver. Your videos, love, love, love the tips and absolutely love even more when it works. Thank you. I haven't went too far with this guy, but he's giving signs that he wants some head. Can you please talk about some ball tricks? I've really heard that they like when you're down there. I could please use your help. Okay, if you are trying to fondle thy man's tennis balls, give him a little that's pretty much all you gotta do. But if you're trying to give a little action on a man's tennis balls, usually my favorite thing to do is I will, first of all, give a little action up here, and then I'll work my way down. That way you're kind of like doing like a reverse lick. Instead of going up, down, you're going top to the bottom. And then once I'm there, I'm still gonna have one hand on their pink water bottle. So I will be going up and down at the same time. But I will also have my face a little bit lower so I can be on the tennis balls. Literally just like an ice cream. You're going to do a big like, flatten out the tongue and just do one big one. And then like you can do multiple variations. When you're on a guy's tennis balls, think of it like windshield wipers. You can go side to side with your mouth. You can go in a circle with the tongue and like literally draw shapes, draw a heart, draw a circle, go left, right, left, like literally just doing that with your tongue or like doing little circles. And at the same time though, the rhythm is that you're keeping your hand like this going up and down. So I'm down here giving a little bit of this, but my hand is still going up and down on this. And that looks super hot. It looks super hot when you're doing that at the same time. You're just like, And then I will like literally like be a chipmunk. Okay. When a guy when you're trying to go on his tennis balls, don't be afraid to pop them in the mouth. Okay. You're going to take, like, honestly, sometimes you can fit one, sometimes you can fit both of them. Depends on the size of his tennis balls, the tightness. But yeah, you can kind of just like take one, kind of like, slurp on it, literally like in your entire mouth, and then kind of pull on it lightly, very lightly, because they're sensitive, but lightly pull on it with your mouth. I know this sounds crazy, but pull on it with your mouth. And at the same time, I'm still using a hand up here. I'm still going like this while I'm like the visuals help. Or I'll try to fit both of them where I kind of like, and then I'll kind of like, if I can work my tongue at the same time while it's in my mouth, I'm kind of like, going up and down on them with it in my mouth. I'll kind of just do like a gurgle. I'll take like both of them in my mouth and just like, like literally like that. That's just like a few things. Now, that's like using all that mouth. Instead, you also could just be using your hands. So I will be up here. Now I'm focusing at the tip of their pink water bottle, but I want to still entertain the tennis balls. I will instead like get my hands under there and kind of like, give a little squeeze. Make your hands like a jellyfish. We're going to do like this, but you're going to like do that to their tennis balls. So you're going to kind of be grabbing them lightly, kind of grazing them and kind of lightly pulling. But at the same time, I'm still working at the tip of the pink water bottle. So I'm like, ooh, 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 but I'm still kind of giving a little handy action down here. Yeah, you got multiple hands. Use them. Give them a little pull. Give them a little scratch. It honestly feels really good. Like guys love when you scratch their tennis balls. They always got their hand down their pants. Men love to scratch their tennis balls. So do it for them. Sometimes like I'll be like at the tip, giving some action on the bottle, and then I'll kind of just like lightly graze like my nails against the tennis balls. Ooh, it usually gives a man chills. They're not like used to that feeling from somebody else, so it gives chills. But kind of just go for it. There's no right or wrong. The only thing I do say about a guy and his tennis balls is communicate and ask, because some guys have very sensitive tennis balls and don't want you like doing too much, or they're just like very sensitive, so you need to go very light, or they just have some little, prerequisites. Always ask a guy what his boundaries are when it comes to the tennis ball. Don't be afraid to get down on the tennis balls. I know it's scary, but also when you're down there, make eye contact. When you're at the base and your mouth is, whatever you're doing, little lollipop licks or doing the gurgle with your mouth, look up at them like, while you're still at the same time one hand on their pink water bottle, and he will lose his mind, I promise you. Next question. Hey girl, I've been researching birth controls and have been overwhelmed with all the options. I'd prefer no hormones, but looking at copper IUDs, this would be my first one because I'm scared. What are the pros and cons of the copper IUD, girly? I have never had actually the copper IUD. I did think about it though, because obviously like it's really good. And the pro is like, yeah, zero hormones. You can set it and forget it. Those ones are usually good for like 10 years. Copper IUDs are so good on time. So if you are scared of getting it and you get the copper IUD, you don't have to do it for a very long time. They're usually 99% effective and pretty easy to reverse. You just slip it out. So it's not tricky. It's not too painful. It's just like a quick pull. It feels like a quick little cramp. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it does cramp when you go in and it does cramp when it goes out, but you only do that once every 10 years, so it's not too big a deal. Now, the insertion is a little bit more painful with the copper IUD, at least in the US, because I know that most copper IUDs here are kind of bigger and they kind of hurt a little bit more, especially if you haven't given birth. The second con of the copper IUD that I've talked to, like literally every time I'm getting my wax, I always somehow bring up my like period to my waxer. And she has a copper IUD and she's like, girl, my heavy ass period. She said hers lasted from like 3 to 6 months. I have multiple friends who have had that side effect being on the copper IUD, that their period did not stop. It just went and went and went. And some people, they were like, yeah, the first year was rough. Your body, you're bleeding a lot. It's unpredictable. But then most of them said that after that first year, their body adjusted to it and it's been amazing. So if you can suck it up for like that first year, it's really great. And with any IUD, I have found, like I have a hormonal one, and even my friends who have non-hormonal, you will notice some spotting. Like occasionally you're going to be bleeding a little bit on a random day. You're like, why is this happening? But it's completely normal. It's nothing to freak out about. If this is your first IUD, you should definitely talk to your doctor about this, your OBGYN, and describe your period. Give them a good rundown. Are you somebody who has a heavy flow and who bleeds a lot? Maybe the copper IUD, if that's the case, would not be the best case, just because it is just going to intensify the pain and intensify your periods. Whereas if you're somebody who doesn't really have those problems, yeah, the copper IUD could be a great fit for you. But your doctor is the best to really break them down for you and based off of your period care. Pro tip, if you are getting your IUD, ask your doctor for an anti-inflammatory that you can take before the insertion appointment, because this helps a lot with some of that, pain and scaredness that you might be experiencing. My doctor also gave me a pain pill that I actually put like up my kitty cat, and that one really helped. And they also used a numbing spray. There's a lot of options. Just tell them you're scared. Like most of them are used to just like women toughing it up and just like not saying anything, but they have solutions if you are experiencing pain or are scared of it. I was literally shaking and crying because I was so nervous. I have to be like so honest, guys. Like I got really dramatic before my IUD. Inserting random metals and like the process of an OBGY appointment scares. And I am brave and know it's good for my health, because as somebody who's sexually active, you should be getting tested. You should be practicing these things and doing your pap smears like every other year, every year. So it was really scary, but I did it and it actually wasn't that bad. I can tell you Getting the IUD was not horrible. I had a slight little fluke where I had to like get it back to back because they put it in, noticed it was wrong, and then I had to do it again all in one appointment. So that was a little bit of a tearjerker because it was just like not what I expected. And it was just like kind of got in my head and then I started to cry a little bit, but that's just me. Like I know that's dramatic, but I did cry. I think I actually have a podcast episode about that. So I think it's like called IUD Horror Story. But I will say, since having the IUD, it has been amazing. I have the hormonal one, but it works so good. I don't have any issues, no pregnancies. My skin is okay. Sometimes I notice a breakout a little bit on my period, but for the most part, not too bad. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of Girl Core. I hope you learned something, hope you had fun, and I will catch you next Sunday for another episode of Girl Core.